Does everyone remember the last movie they saw? For me, it was Deadpool. I loved that movie. It had interesting characters, and it was hilarious throughout the entire movie. But despite it being a superhero movie, it had lots of mature themes that made it an R rating, which is probably why I thought it was so funny. But despite this R rating, many audience members were still surprised by some of the content in the film. And this is very shocking because the MPAA ratings can make or break a film's success. About 25% of moviegoers are under the age of 18, according to MPAA's theatrical market statistics in 2014. This causes R-rated movies to be penalized about $12 million at the box office, according to Southwestern Economic Review of 2005. And on top of that, movies that are rated NC-17 by the MPAA can't be shown at movie theaters at all, and are severely limited by the places that you can buy and find those movies. The MPAA is not an independent organization and often favors large corporations. Additionally, our current rating system does not accurately prepare audiences for film's content due to the subjectivity of the ratings. For these reasons, serious changes need to be made to the MPAA. The MPAA is a trade association whose members include film production studios, distributors, and theater chains. MPAA members are often tasked with censoring films or rating films that they themselves produce by their own companies. This kind of presents a conflict of interest as they have to rate movies that they're pushing out to get people to see. Due to this, the Vanderbilt Journal of Entertainment and Technology Law in 2009 claimed that MPAA's rating scheme constitutes false advertising, and that the MPAA should make a more objective evaluation of film's content that is more detailed and aware of the context of the questionable content. And overall, the MPAA allows major film companies huge leeways with their ratings, while independent companies do not have that same leeway because they don't have enough money to submit multiple cuts, and it's often unfair to the independent movie makers. While hopefully none of you in the audience are parents, you should still probably be concerned with the ratings. There are still times when you may need them. For instance, if you're babysitting a younger cousin, or you just want to know about the content in the movie that you're about to see. Some movies can be extremely violent or sexual, and you probably want to know that going in. So consider The Dark Knight or South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut. In The Dark Knight, it was rated PG-13 despite many violent acts. There's a guy that gets stabbed through the face with a pencil, a man's face gets burned off, there's a hospital blows up, and they're able to get away with all this because they don't show that much blood. But it's still rated PG-13, and that could be very, confusing for parents who are thinking it's probably going to be more family-friendly, it's a Batman movie, they probably won't expect that much violence going in. And South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, the creator, Matt Stone, had this to say about it. Every time the MPAA made us cut something, we'd put something worse in, and every time they'd okay it. He gave this one example of a scene where they had, I believe it was Cartman's mom having sex with the horse, and they thought it wasn't that bad. It was very short. It was still pretty bad. South Park goes on shock humor, but the MPAA said no, they can't have that much sex with the horse in the show. So they were like, we really wanted that in, so just say screw you. We're gonna put a scene where Cartman's mom is eating shit, and they had a much longer scene, and the MPAA okayed it. Now that's in the movie. On top of that, an article by the Journal of Health Communications in 2009 states that the MPAA is not adequate for parents who wish to limit their children's exposure to tobacco or alcohol content in movies. A study from Pediatrics in 2005 found that MPAA ratings could not be used to predict the frequency of violent acts in PG, PG-13, and R films. So now that you've heard all the problems related to the MPAA ratings, let's move on to some possible solutions. One solution can be to list out explicit content more clearly and more detailed. MPAA ratings do have like a couple of little blurbs, but most of it's like mild sexual content, and you really don't know what that means. It's worse than extremely bad explicit content, and worse than really mild, less bad than extremely mild sexual content. It's not very specific. Another solution could have separate ratings for sexual content and violence. This would just give more information on why a movie is rated a certain rating. So it could be PG-13 for violence or PG for sex, and this just gives more information to parents and potential audience members. Finally, third-party members. The MPAA should be replaced by more third-party members who aren't trying to sell the movie to you while they're giving ratings to it. And so the MPAA should be more independent. With these measures, parents will be able to make more informed decisions about the movies their children see, and they will also cut down on the amount of corruption in the MPAA members. Big corporations will have less of an advantage over indie films, and directors won't have to compromise their vision to meet a rating and be able to be seen in theaters. Finally, to make these measures happen, you can try to write Hollywood executives. The biggest corporations control about 95% of the media that you see. This by Disney, Sony, Time Warner, Fox, Universal, and Paramount. Also, you could try writing congressmen. If they see that the MPAA is a big enough problem, they may be able to enact laws that will change the rating system. And in the time that we wait for all of that to happen, because it will probably take a while, there are plenty of alternatives to MPAA ratings. Professional reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and commonsensemedia.org all give movie reviews and more detailed content on what will be in the movie. So hopefully with this we can fix the censorship organization that's pretending not to be a censorship organization. Thank you.